Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Fedke, and this is
Zach Hagel.
Zach Hagel, and we are doing a lesson today on comprehensions with summaries, words, sentences, and then we have a game. So we're going to start off by going over what we read last time, chapter 1. All right, so what was the summary we came up with?
Mr. Popper is a house painter with big dreams. He doesn't work over the winter, so Mr. Popper is worried about money.
All right. And some of the words we chose from last time. Words.
Pleasant.
Get that one.
Admired.
Uh-huh.
Spattered. Whiskers.
It's a place. Himalaya.
Expensive.
Expeditions. Authority.
And bungalow.
Okay. And the characters that we know that are Mr. Popper's penguin so far are who?
Mr. Popper and Jamie and Bill.
And
Mr. Popper.
Mrs. Popper.
Mrs. Popper.
And Mrs. Popper. All right, good. All right, so we are going to start on chapter 2. And then, while we are reading, we are going to add more words to our word collection. What color do you want to use? Red. Okay. So why don't I read, and then you stop me when you see a word that we will write, and then you will read. All right, so chapter 2, The Voice in the Air. That evening, when little Poppers had been put to bed, Mr. and Mrs. Popper settled down for a long, quiet evening. In the neat little room of 432 Proudfoot Avenue was much like the other living rooms in Stillwater, except that its walls were hung with pictures of National Geographic magazine. Have you ever heard of that, National Geographic magazine?
Yeah.
What is it?
A magazine of, like, the world and stuff.
Yeah, very good. Shows from all over the world. So what do you think they like, since they have pictures of National Geographic magazine on their walls?
Like the world and their cultures.
Very good. Yes, I think so too. Mrs. Popper picked up her mending. Do you know what mending is?
Like made pots or
Clothes. It's kind of like sewing.
yeah.
When you mend and you sew. While Mr. Popper collected his pipes, books, and his globe. Any words you want to add? Nothing that stuck out? All right. All right, you go.
From time to time, Mr. Popper sighed a little as
Mrs.
Popper sighed a little as she thought about the long winter ahead. Would there really be enough beans to last? She wondered. Mr. Popper was not worried. However, as he put on his
Spectacles. Let's put that one down. Do you know what spectacles are? Here, I'll hold it for you.
Inventions.
Okay, think about it. It says he put on his spectacles. What do you put on?
Glasses.
Glasses. Perfect. Write the word. It's right under my finger. T. Excellent. All right, you can go in.
He was quite pleased at the prospect
Very good.
of a whole winter of reading travel books. With no work to interrupt him, he set his little globe beside him and began to read.
All right, hang on. Stop. So what did we just read about?
We read about
What's Mr. Popper doing?
he's getting prepared for the winter ahead.
Right. So where's he at right now?
His house.
His house. Is he running around the house, or is he just sitting down lounging?
Sitting down lounging.
Good. Is he reading a book?
No.
What is he doing?
He's reading a book.
Reading travel magazines. Right. Okay. Very good. Keep going.
What are you reading? Asked Mrs. Popper. I am reading a book called Antarctic Adventures. It is very interesting. It tells all about the different people who have gone to the South Pole and what they have found there.
Good. What was the book name?
Mr. Popper's Family.
No, that he's reading.
Oh, Arctic Adventures.
Perfect. Good. Right here.
Okay. Don't you ever get tired of reading about the South Pole? No, I don't. Of course, I would much rather go there than read about it, but reading is the next best thing. I think it must be very boring down there, said Mrs. Popper. It sounds very dull and cold with all of that ice and snow.
Okay, this word is dull. What do you think dull means?
Like
if it sounds very dull and cold.
Plain and flat.
Right, plain and flat and boring. Let's add that word down.
Okay.
D-U-L-M. Good. All right, so far, how does Mr. Popper feel about the South Pole?
He likes it, and he would rather go there than read a book about it.
Right, absolutely. Well, wouldn't you rather go somewhere to read a book about it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Zach's moving to Texas, so he's going to be traveling all over. And how does Mrs. Popper feel about it?
She feels like she would want to because it's like really cold down there.
Right. Would you want to go to the South Pole?
It'd be fun, but cold.
Do you think it'd be boring or fun? Like,
It'd be fun, like seeing all the animals and cultures.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of animals are down there?
Polar bears, walrus and stuff.
Yeah. How about seals? All right. Any other words you want to add? That's Madeline.
Not really.
All right. I'll read and you tell me
Actually,
when to
I want
stop.
to add prospect.
Prospect. Very good. All right. P-R-O. S-P-E-C-T. Very good. All right. Do you know what prospect means? It says he was quite pleased at the prospect of a whole winter of reading his books.
Not really. I'm not sure what.
Kind of like an idea, like, you know, like you're kind of excited about the prospect of going to learn a new place. Like, you know you can do it and it's coming and it's an idea that is there. You haven't yet done it, but you're going to do it.
Like Texas.
Right. Very good. What did I say?
Hmm?
I was going to say, did I say something different? I might have. All right. Oh, no, answered Mr. Popper. You wouldn't think it was dull if you had gone with me to see the movies of the Drake expedition at the Bajor last night. Kind of a weird name, isn't it?
Last night.
Last year. Thank you. Do you think that'd be exciting to go see a movie about an expedition of South Pole?
Not really.
Do you think Mrs. Popper going to find it exciting?
No, probably not.
Okay. Well, I didn't, and I don't think any of us will ever have any money for the movies now, answered Mrs. Popper a little sharply. What does that mean when you answer sharply?
Like not excitedly.
Right. Kind of mean, kind of quick. You know, she said, well, I didn't, and I don't think any of us will have any money for the movies now.
Okay.
That's reading sharply. She was not at all a disagreeable woman, but she sometimes got rather cross when she was worried about money. What do you think that word means, cross?
Like upset or mad.
Perfect. If you had gone, my love, went on Mr. Popper, you would have seen how beautiful the Arctic is. But I think the nicest part is all of the penguins. No wonder all the men on the expedition had such a good time playing with them. They are the funniest birds in the world. They don't fly like other birds. They walk erect like a man. Do you know what that means? If it says you walked erect, how do men walk? Standing up? Straight? Yes, do penguins walk straight? Yeah, they just waddle. When they get tired of walking, they just lie down on their stomachs and slide. It would be very nice to have one for a pet. Pet, said Mrs. Popper. First it's Bill wanting a dog, then Janie begging for a kitten. Now you and your penguins? But I don't have any pets around. All right, what have we read about so far?
We've read about him talking about the penguins and stuff and how you would want one, and about the movie and him wanting to see it, and Mrs. Popper wouldn't want to go see it.
Right.
It'd be boring to her.
Right, and how do penguins get around?
By walking like them.
Uh-huh, and what else? Can you remember the other way?
No.
What do they do?
Slide.
They slide on their bellies. Do you have any words?
Sharply was the one that I wanted. Wait.
Sharply, right there?
Yeah.
Okay. You can pick a different color if you want to stick with red. Change it up. Make it pretty. Add an R. S-H-A-R.
Okay.
There you go. And what about this one?
Disagreeable one.
I think that's a good word to add.
Okay.
D-I-S. A-G. R-E. E-A. Another E. A-B-L-E.
Huh?
Just write on it. B-L-E. All right. They make too much dirt in the house, and I have enough work now trying to keep this place tidy.
To say nothing of what it costs to feed a pet anyway, we have the bowl of goldfish. Penguins are very intelligent, continued Mr. Popper. Listen to Mama. It says, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Here that when they want to catch some shrimp, they all crowd over to the edge of the ice bay. Only they don't just jump in because a sea leopard might be waiting to eat the penguins, so they crowd and push until they manage to shove one penguin off to see if it's safe. I mean, if he doesn't get eaten up, then the rest of them know it's safe.
How would you feel about that? You were trying to get your food and you were all crowded around and somebody pushed you in.
Scared.
Yeah.
Because you might get eaten.
Exactly. By what?
Leopard.
Sea
Seal.
lion. Yeah, very
Sea
good.
lion. Yeah. For them all to jump in. Dear me, said Mrs. Popper in a shocked tone. They sound to me like pretty heathen birds.
Heathen.
Heathen.
What do you think it means when you... Mike calls you that from time to time. Heathens. You're all a bunch of heathens.
Can't figure out what that means.
Okay, so heathen is like mischievous and like to get in trouble and...
Okay.
Okay? Mike loves that word. Heathen.
So we're always on.
Right here.
Okay.
It's
a queer thing, said Miss Popper, that all the polar bears live at the North Pole and all the penguins at the South Pole. I should think that penguins would like the North Pole too if they only knew how to get there. At 10 o'clock, Miss Popper yawned and laid down her
mending.
Mending.
All right, let's pick some words. There are some good ones in that chapter.
Heathens.
Because that's what you boys are. Heathens. H-E-A.
Okay.
T-H-E-N. What else? You see anything that sticks out?
Not really.
Okay. Alright. So what did you just read?
I read about Mr. Popper telling her about Mrs. Popper about the penguins and about them like pushing each other in to see if they should if it's safe to go down and dive for the food or if it's not.
Excellent. You remember that one really well. All right. Well, you can go on reading about those heathen birds, but I am going to bed. Tomorrow is Thursday, September 13th, and I have to go to the first meeting of the Ladies' Aid of Missionary Society. September 13th, said Mr. Popper in an excited tone. You don't mean that tonight is Wednesday, September 30th. Am I keep saying 13th? 30th.
Oh, it is?
It is 30th.
I thought it was 13.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either. You don't mean that tonight is Wednesday, September 29th. See, that's what makes sense to me. It's because 29th can't be before 13, can it? So I had to go back and relook, make sure it makes sense to me. Why, yes, I suppose it is. But what of it? Mr. Popper put down his book of Antarctic adventures and moved hastily to the radio. How do you move hastily?
Fast.
What of it? He repeated, pushing a switch. Wow, this is the night the Drake Arctic Expedition is going to start broadcasting. That's nothing, said Mrs. Popper. Just a lot of men at the bottom of the world saying, hello, Mama, and hello, Papa. Shh, commanded Mr. Popper, laying his ear close to the radio. There was a buzz, then suddenly, from the South Pole, a faint voice floated out from the Popper living room. What did I just read to you?
You read about when she was talking about tomorrow's Saturday, right? June 30th. Saturday. Tomorrow's Saturday, June 30th. And Mr. Popper jumped up and she was talking a bunch of stuff that she didn't like. Who wants to see that and stuff?
What was he listening to?
He was going to listen to I'm not sure what his name was.
Admiral Drake.
Admiral Drake on the radio broadcasting.
Right. Have you heard them mention anything about a TV or?
No.
No? So do you think this is like
Back then.
recent or way back when?
Way back then.
Yeah, and you know that kids used to pile around the radio and listen to it like TV? Like they used to play radio shows way back when? Yeah. Have you ever heard of any of those old shows?
Not really.
Alright, so what do you think this voice is going to say? It says that a faint voice floated into the Popper living room.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't have an idea either. Do we see any words we want to add to our list?
Not really, no.
Okay. You can see anything that stuck out too big. Alright, here we go. Read that one for me. Let's find out what he says.
Okay, this is
Admiral
Drake.
Let's write that one down.
Okay.
You know we got that one. I'll spell it for you. ADMIRAL. RAL. Okay, Admiral
My
Drake.
foot fell asleep.
Mine does that too. Okay.
Okay. This is Admiral Drake speaking. Hello, Mama.
Mama.
Hello, Mama. Mama. Hello, Papa. Hello, Mr. Popper.
Whoa, how do you think he knew Mr. Popper?
I really don't know.
Oh, let's
Maybe
figure
he's
that
at
out.
his house.
Well, no, he's in the South Pole.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, Admiral Drake is in the South Pole.
Oh, maybe Mr. Popper is one of the penguins.
No, Mr. Popper can't be. Oh, you think he named a Popper,
Yeah.
Penguin, Mr. Popper? Oh, let's find out. That's a good inference right there.
Hello, Mr. Popper, up there in Stillwater. Thanks for for an answer.
Wait, we missed.
Oh,
This is a big word.
gracious?
Yes,
Oh,
good.
goodness. Exclaimed Mr. Popper. Did he say Papa or Popper? Hello, Mr. Popper, up in Stillwater. Thanks for your nice letter about the pictures of our last expedition. Watch for an answer, but not by letter. Mr. Popper, watch for a surprise singing off. You wrote to... Keep forgetting his
Signing off. You wrote to Admiral
Admiral
Drake.
Drake. Okay. Yes, I did, Mr. Said yes.